So it's becoming very clear now, if you go to the first slide, that we are dealing with a global outbreak of the Delta variant. I keep updating this slide. It now shows that at least 117 countries now have the Delta variant since it was first detected in June of 2020. So let's just review some of the aspects of Delta to help put it into the context of what we're talking about. We know the transmissibility that's greater than Alpha variant, at least 2 times as great. This makes a major difference in transmissibility. The viral load is up to 1,000 times greater in the nasopharynx of people with Delta than Alpha, which is a mechanistic reason why you have such a tremendous increase in transmissibility. Next slide. In previous reviews before this group, I have shown this slide and checking the boxes as to the proof of protection against SARS-CoV-2 Delta variant. There was one glaring missing check in previous iterations of this, and that was in the J&J clinical effectiveness. Next slide. I had showed you before this slide looking at data of immune responses in vitro. And this was the J&J vaccine study, which showed that it elicited durable antibody and cellular responses against Delta with minimal decreases for at least 8 months after immunization. Next slide. We now have a slide that recently, a study that recently came out from South Africa and other Southern African countries. It's called the Sasanki study, involving about 478,000 healthcare workers. And this is real world effectiveness against Delta, with a 91 to 96% protection against Delta, and then 71% protection against hospitalization. And remember, I showed you before that the durability of the immune response is out to 8 months. And this is the first real world data to show the effectiveness of J&J from this challenging epidemiological setting of Delta, particularly in the context of people who might have HIV. Next slide. Finally, if you look at breakthrough infections, which are inevitable with any vaccine because no vaccine is 100% effective. As you can see, as we've seen in other studies, the breakthrough infections, namely infections that occur in the setting of full vaccination, were mild in 96%, moderate in 3%, severe in less than 0.05%, with death in less than 0.05%. So I'll stop there and hand it over to Marcel.